Welcome to Sober Barkeep. I'm Brian Anderson, coming to you from Anderson's Guitar Bar here in lovely League City, Texas. During my first anniversary live stream, I had a chance to talk to Milan Martin from the Free Spirits Company, and take a look at that interview here. I hope you enjoy it. From Sober Barkeep, live well and drink smart.
There we are.
There we are, Milan. How you
There
doing,
we
buddy?
are. Good to see you, man.
Hey. So we got Milan Martin, Free Spirits Company. Uh, Let me tell you, I've been really looking forward to this. You and I have
I
communicated
know.
forever and never actually spoke to each other. So, the
Weird.
modern
I
technology.
know.
And,
The internet. It's weird.
Yep, there you go. So, you know, the one thing that's really cool, and I'm glad you're on. The reason I was going to bring you on first, and then the phone didn't cooperate. You were the first person to reach out to me when the Sober Barkeep program started and said, "Hey, I got these products. I'd like to send you some to try."
Yeah.
And you know, I'm always happy to get free stuff. And as I told you at the time, I'll give you an honest review. I can't promise you anything good. And I actually, your whiskey, when I love, and I loved your gin, gave it a great review. Loved your whiskey. I mean your tequila.
Yeah.
But your first version of the whiskey, I didn't rate real well, and you still continued to talk to me. So I gotta say I love that. I'm not sure why you decided to hang with it, but I do appreciate it.
Hey, man, I didn't like it that much either, and that's why we redid it. I mean, that's it's the same thing Chris was saying. I think the crazy thing about this whole category is, what's really interesting is we're all kind of approaching it like like the software guys. It's kind of constant beta. We're not done, and there's a lot of learning to be had across the flavor and the bite and the burn and the functional piece of it and all of that. And so yeah, I think and the reason I reached out is I think you start a company like this, you get a lot of taste buds on it, but gosh, you're putting yourself out there, and when it comes time to going broad, you want as many kind of thoughtful people to taste it and give you their feedback as possible.
Yeah, cool. And so what goes, and it's fun. I've enjoyed the heck out of, because honestly, when I started this program, I thought if I can get 30 episodes, it'll be a miracle. I got 143, and there's so much stuff popping up every single day.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in the infancy of this market. You were right up front with what of the spirits part of it, with what you were doing. So what drives you? Put a lot of R&D obviously into every one of your products. So you put one out there. What makes you decide, okay, I got to go do a revision of this thing? What drives that from a CEO? I mean, you this is your company. You ultimately have to make that decision. What in your mind goes, okay, it's time to pull the trigger. We got to reformulate.
Yeah, I mean, it's just constantly talking to people and constantly pouring cocktails, and there's just so many dimensions of this thing. It's like, it's one thing to taste it, to sip it neat. It's a whole other thing that how well does it stand up in a cocktail? And I think our category sometimes gets dinged for not having the strength of a traditional spirit. And so I think we're all kind of constantly trying to innovate and create more of the boldness that you'd expect from a traditional spirit. And so there's all these different dimensions that you're constantly trying to improve upon. And whether it is the strength or whether it's the right kind of burn, because to your point, it's really hard to replicate the burn of ethanol alcohol hitting your palate. And so there's so many things, and I'll speak for myself, but I think that most of us in this category, we're not food chemists. We're just kind of people who have a passion for the ceremony of a great cocktail. And when you start to scratch the surface of it, you just realize like the complexity and the terroir and the multiple dimensions on your palate. You get into it going, sure, we'll make something taste great. And then you kind of like a couple of years into it, and like Chris said, your life savings, you're going, this is a little harder than I thought it was. But I will say, man, it's super cool. I spent 25 years in the ad business, and it was a great time. Drank way too much, which ultimately led me to kind of come up with the idea for this thing, or start this thing. But the community around here and the people, even colleagues and competitors, everybody knows there's enough space for us all to have a great role in this thing. Great group of people, and sitting here a year and a half into it, just feel fortunate to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I didn't even have to ask questions. That's fantastic. I'll tell you, I did get a bit concerned though, because you know, and I'm honest about this. I've said it several times in the program.
Yeah.
Your tequila is one of my favorite, if not my favorite spirit that I have. And I drink a lot of it.
Oh, thanks, man.
And then when I found out you were reformulating it, I got a little bit concerned.
I know.
Because I really, really like the original formula, but I got to say, the reformulated is even better. So
Thanks, man.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Real quick, and then I got to move on.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining. Thanks again. I don't know if I said thanks when you came on, but
Of course,
I can't thank you enough for everything you've been doing for my show, for what we're doing, and for the industry. But what comes next? Where are we going next with Free Spirits Company?
So I think it's kind of deep and wide. I mean, I think that, you know, there's really not a lot of secrets to it. You know, there's a handful of spirits that we're looking at. There's ready to drinks we're looking at. And then there's kind of the cordials piece of it, you know, we're looking at too. And I think, you know, it's ultimately just kind of how do we provide people with, you know, all of the tools they need to make a great cocktail, whether that cocktail is totally non-alcoholic or whether, you know, like me, you still, you know, drink, but just in a lot, you know, less volume, and you want to have, you know, the control element of dialing up and dialing down. And so to be able to do that, we're just working on that whole dimension of different spirits. You know, the ready to drinks are something that I'm really excited about. You know, we've got some pretty interesting things lined up, and so yeah, we're having a really good time doing it.
Fantastic. All right, so I think you agreed to give away 2 free bottles.
Yes, sir.
So first 2 people that comment Free Spirits, I'm gonna get a bottle from Milan here. So Milan, I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. Happy anniversary. Really cool. I think, how neat is that, right? A year later, all of a sudden you blink your eyes and you're doing this totally different thing that maybe 18 months ago you would have never imagined you would do.
Exactly. Thank you, buddy.
Right on. Thanks, man.